Yuri's going to show us his beast mode throne room build. Jeez, it's been an hour and 15 minutes already. Holy shit. Time flies when you're having fun. I guess that bullshit statement is true. So we still got one spot open. Whoever wants it, hop back on in. If nobody's back on within, we'll say like by the time the build's done, then one of you guys that were in it before can pop back in. Plap. These guys actually hit like a truck if you build around them, but their placement is crappy. Which this one you can use because you can wall it up right here. That bad boy definitely hits hard. This one back here is just in terrible placement. Even if you look at the this one too, it's just way too far back and out of the way. Yeah, the Mystic makes for a nice builder. I can definitely see myself using the Mystic walls, and then the little laser beam. I will definitely be using all of those items. In fact, that will probably be my go-to wall once the revamp comes and we have a challenge again. Everybody that's getting into the game now is actually getting a little bit of a bad perception of the game because of what they're seeing when they come into it. In the current state, you can get, four characters to level 50 and pretty much doing Nightmare 4 gear or doing Nightmare 4 run solo within like a day or two. I mean, it depends on how many hours you put into the day, of course. But a brand new player can come in solo and be doing Nightmare 4 by the end of 2 days. Pretty easily. And that, of course, it gives people who want, it's no fun if there's no challenge. And currently, there's just the challenge just really isn't there. That's the only shitty part there, no one cares, is I actually posted on the forums about that. If there was anything like a wish list item that you could put on, that it would be that Sand Viper being able to have multiple Viper beams hit the same target. That would make, but it would, then again, on the same note, if people did do that, that would be the new meta. And that's all you would see is those Sand Vipers everywhere. Even with the split beam sphere, it's beastly DPS. In fact, it's just barely lower than not using the split beam sphere. Because it's all about crit. The Sand Viper is all about crit damage. And the spheres don't affect the crit damage. So if you got the single target one that ramps up to a higher number, it's not affecting the crit damage at all. So it's just a small increase. The three-way split is definitely the sphere to use. No doubt. It's like having, it's as effective as having like 3 archers. Of course, archers that you're only using one side of, but it's pretty much as effective as 3 archers at tier 1. Now, once you upgrade them, the archers become a little bit more effective because, and then of course the attack speed is greatly affected. Makes a big difference on the archers, where it doesn't really make as much of a difference with like a buff beam. But if you've got a boost aura and a buff beam on one of those Sand Vipers, oh my god, man, they just wreck house. They definitely get the job done. Alright, let's see what we got here. So we got buffed and boosted walls and PDTs. Going right here, we got another buffed and boosted PDT right here. Same in the middle. Buffed and boosted. There we go. That's a good buff beam right there. 1300. That's not too shabby. That's right there where mine's at. I mean, you can get those up to 1,000 pretty easily. The higher you get over 1,000, of course, the better you are. Well, Necro, no one can tell you which character to choose. It's definitely all based on playstyle. In the current status of the game, all you need to do Nightmare 4 is PDTs, the Poison Dart Towers. That's it. So it's just all based off of what you want. I personally, when anyone asks me, I tell them get an EV2 because you got a lot of possibilities with an EV. Of course, you can make 2 of them and have 1 builder and 1 DPS. And the EV2's DPS is probably the easiest to get up to that 1 million mark if you have Dragolich, which everybody can get Dragolich now with Defender medals. But yeah, looking good, man, looking good. You guys ready to do it up? Anyway, so what, that's what I tell everybody. I personally, like on that free-to-play account, when I get to 10,000 medals, the first hero I will get is the EV2. There's no doubt about that. But that's just because of my preference. I really like the EV2. And I use it constantly. I love proton beams. I love DPSing on the EV. But that's just my playstyle. I'm a ranged guy. I like ranged DPS. And I like being able to... I like that support role at the EV. Of course, protons are not a support role. Protons are pretty beast if you build your character right. But I like buffing and boosting. All about the buffing and boosting. Everything dying fast. Yeah, man, buffed PDTs. It's a good game. Gonna wreck up all the faces. The mobs can't even come out fast enough. They're all hiding back there in the back, debating on whether or not to come out and get rolled. But yeah, just get what you like the most. I would definitely, as far as your first new hero of the newer ones, I personally would say don't make your first one the Lavamancer. Unless all you really want it for is DPS and you like melee DPS, then go for it. I personally just don't like the Lavamancer playstyle that much as far as an active DPS character, and that's why I don't use them. People give me shit about it. Let's see, so what do we want to do? PDTs, I'm assuming? I can take both these PDTs up one more notch. I'll save the rest for repairs. Actually, I got 52 left. Let's see. Is there going to be a hard... Looks like we got a boss on this one, so I'll throw it right there. What the hell? Yeah, definitely all about the PDTs right now, though. So, I mean, any map you use PDTs if you're coming in. I actually debated, completely off topic, but I debated on making a leeching etiquette video. I hate to even use that term, leeching. But so many people pop into groups and AFK and everything else, and even if they don't AFK and they're playing actively, it seems like a lot of times people will do just the wrong things. So I debated on putting together a little matchmaking etiquette video. I'm not sure if I'll do that or not, because I don't want to be that guy. But on the same note, I mean, anyone who wants to get into a match, they need to know what to do, you know. I'm not sure, Necro. I'm assuming there are, but I don't really know. I don't open lockboxes. I've got a thing. I mean, there's been times, don't get me wrong, there's been times too where I've been maxed on defender metals and just didn't know what to blow them on, and I end up buying keys and whatnot. But as a rule of thumb, I generally do not open lockboxes. I do like costumes, don't get me wrong. But I'm lazy, so I want the costume sets. But I'm not positive. And, you know, now that you mention it, I don't think I have really seen any Mystic lockboxes, but I'm not sure. I would be lying if I told you I was, because I don't even look at lockboxes. Yeah, I just click the sell for that bag. I sell everything in the bag, and I unhighlight anything I don't want sold. But that's my basic strat. Of course, one of the things they spoke quite a bit about today on the dev stream was the inventory rework, and I know they've done a little throw some teasers out there about it over the last week and a half or so. But that, of course, is needed. The inventory UI sucks, and they know it. It's no secret. This map is just getting steamrolled here. What do we got? We got baddies on the left, baddies on the right. And we got an explodinator somewhere over here. Up top there. Actually, he's dead. Old Ponderous dedicated himself to destroying that explodinator. Sometimes that's the easiest way to get rid of them. Just have somebody suicide on it. Oh, everything's getting wrecked. Hopefully get something cool here. You know, it's 100% drop rate for one of those galaxy weapons on this map. So hopefully at least one of us gets something decent. This is a map, I mean, obviously this is an easy map, and it's not a bad grind. It's not, like, irritating to do or anything. But it does take a couple of minutes. It's not, definitely nowhere near fast. See if anybody's got enough added with that 120. We can throw another up on that PDT. There we go. Yeah, that explodinator doesn't do shit. It's definitely another mob that needs reworking. If a hero gets close to that guy, they should like instantly implode. Now, of course, from what they've spoken about so far with the strategic revamp, there's going to be a lot of that where there's, you know, mobs have special abilities. So it'll definitely be fun when it comes, but it's not coming soon enough. Got some other things to fill the pot, though, and everybody, of course, you know, obviously I do a lot of DD2 on the channel. That's all I do is DD2 right now. But I do want to add some other stuff. But some of the other things I play are just not things you put on YouTube, like Civilization 6. I mean, I really, really love playing it. I marathoned it all night last night on release, but nobody wants to watch someone else play that game. That's a game that's best played by yourself. And not, you know, I personally wouldn't want to watch somebody play that game. Now I watch people, I hop in and hop onto streams all the time, watching people play DD2 and Orcs Must Die and, you know, random stuff. But I will never watch anyone play Civilization 6. It's just the games are really, really long. Definitely one of my favorite turn-based strategy games, though, that whole franchise. Civilization 6 has gotten some really good reviews, and it's a lot more in-depth than the previous versions. Let's see, how we doing? Looking good. Check the PDT action over here. Looking stout. How about that one? Yep, looking stout there too. Just throw him into that buff beam there. All you really need is that weapon, Necro. If you go with defense power and any other secondary stat, and then you find the right, the key is finding the right toxic shock. You know, from the Chrome Enemy's bow. You know, you will have to do that unless you just get really, really lucky. You're gonna have to do that a bunch of times to get the one you want. You want, I think the max is 20%. The max I've ever seen is 18%. I've never seen a 20% in Venom. But you want the 20% on the actual Toxic Shock passive. That increases the Poison Dart Tower damage. And then you want the biggest explosion radius you can come up with. Definitely over 1,000. You don't want one of those little skimpy 800 or 900 explosion radiuses. The bigger the better. And then in Venom, you want that in Venom passive to increase the poison tick rate. And you want that at, like I said, the best one I've seen is 18%, but I think it does go to 20. I'm not positive on that, though. I know it goes to 18 for sure, because I've had several of those. My one currently is only at like 14%, but I figured to hell with it. I mean, 4% difference on that tick rate is just a fraction. I mean, it's a fraction of a second, you know, a tenth or whatever. So it wasn't enough for me to really worry about. I've got one with a big explosion radius on it, and it's got the 20% poison dart tower damage. Yeah, use your Nightmare 3 bow. Well, I don't mean the 20% damage. I mean the 20% in Venom. Like, here's my Toxic Shock bow here. You want the 20% on the Viper's Bite. That increases Poison Dart Tower damage by 20%, like on mine. You definitely want that, and then you want a large explosion radius, where mine is 1332. The max is 1600 on that. But in Venom down there, where you see mine increases the poison attack rate of Poison Dart Tower by 14%. You want that up to as high as you can get it. But the main thing is the 20% on the Viper's Bite and the explosion radius. That's why I use that one. Alright, sorry about that, guys. If you get that 20%, you get a decent explosion radius. I would take, as long as it has Envenom on it, you have to have the Envenom. Well, you know, I guess you don't have to, but you really should have the Envenom passive. But if you get the 20% on the main passive, and you get an explosion radius that's over 1,000, and it's got a lower Envenom, I'd go with it if I were you. I mean, it's more than sufficient to clear all of the current content. He did. Where's the other one at? Or is he dead already? Yeah, looks like he's gone. Yeah, definitely. And there's no, when the Poison Dart Tower finally gets changed, it's going to end up being a ninja nerf too. So, enjoy it while you can, because I don't think, obviously it's going to get changed. I personally think it will get changed sooner rather than later. But that's just my own opinion. I mean, I don't really know. No actual real guesses. My guess is going to be that it's just going to come as a ninja nerf in a hot fix. Oh yeah, you can drift on the broom. You don't realize it when you're doing it, but if you're watching someone else do it, you're drifting all the time. It's cool as hell. Best animation ever. See, what I would have done here, I like your build, Yuri, but what I would have done here to save DU, and it doesn't really matter because you don't need the DU, but I would have put the buff beams in a V shape, and that would save you, what, 20 DU or something like that? Looks like we're all at max here. Yeah, throwing up on that boost star. We got some explodey bastards coming in. Oh, they dead. I'm always looking for I mean, like I've said over and over again through this stream, really, but you guys have all heard me say it before. The poison dart tower is so OP, it makes things really, really easy. But I'm always looking for ways to minimize the DU requirement, just because I know it's not always going to be the case. And there's no doubt that, you know, I'm so damn hooked on this game, I'll be playing it for a long time to come. Long, long time after release. Let's see where they at. This guy's already out. Yeah, let me get this one down first. Oh, Ogre's dead. Ogre's dead. Yeah, I think out of all of the new heroes, as far as builders go, I think the Abyss Lord, the EV2 are definitely the pretty stout, with the Mystic very close behind the Abyss Lord. That's a matter of my opinion. I haven't actually tested the numbers to see which is higher. But you can get some pretty big DPS numbers out of that Mystic as a builder. And the Abyss Lord is a nightmare, as Stavion just mentioned in chat. It's an absolute nightmare to farm the passes for it. There's so many passives and so many different layers of RNG. Alright, let's see which one I get. What do we got? What do we got? Yeah, there's a bow blaster. 700. I think that Pumpkinator passive is going to get changed. They said that, of course, that passive came from its origin was on the spooky weapons.